should be able to finish this up in one video. If not, I apologize in advance. There's just so much information for this curriculum. So again, I'm going to tell you, make sure from 2nd grade on that you assess your child every year. This really is just to see how much they've mastered. Sometimes they're not quite mastering the rules or something like that, so you can go back and do a little bit of review. I wouldn't take them back more than 2 or 3 letters, so like, you know, if you got through list L, or don't take them back all the way to F, because that's going to be discouraging for them. So just take them back like, you know, J or K, at the very furthest I, and start them from there. They're going to go through far enough that they're still going to surpass where they were at. And that's the other thing. You don't want to take them back so far that they're not getting further than where they were before. That's going to be really discouraging. At that point, if they're struggling that much, you're just going to want to get them the knowledge and the information, trusting that hopefully around between 7 and 9, especially for boys, again, it's going to click, it's going to snap, they're going to get it. So don't stress about it too much. Remember, we're still in the pole parrot ages. They are still just gathering so much information. They're not really applying the spelling words. Is somewhat of a logic type of thinking. So if they're not totally able to do that yet, just relax. Realize that, you know, probably right around, you know, 5th, 6th, 7th even, possibly, they're going to get it, and it'll all click. And you know what? I mean, at some point too, we also just need to ask ourselves again, what are we trying to accomplish? What is our purpose? And is my child going to be an English major? If they're not, maybe they're much more math-minded, and that's where they're going to, you know, focus more as they get older. That's okay. We don't want to push them into something where they hate spelling and they hate reading and they just don't want to touch any of it anymore. So we've just got to be careful on that. Anyways, also don't move ahead of where you finished. I said this before, but I really want to reiterate this. Unless your child, you know, is in 2nd grade and is doing 8th grade spelling, don't move them ahead. Just go with more of the scope and sequence, or when you actually assess them, just kind of go, you know, go back a bit. Don't put them in the 8th grade because it says they're doing 8th grade level spelling, because for one, it could be a quirk. They could just be having a really great spelling day. Hopefully that's not the case. But also, they're doing 2nd grade work at an 8th grade level, if that makes sense. It does not necessarily mean that they're ready to jump up to all this 8th grade curriculum. So don't take it for that. Okay? They're just advanced at what they're doing at that level. So teach the spelling rules as they come up. It is really much better to apply the spelling rules as you're doing the words and not trying to do them as a completely separate entity. I know it's going to be tempting to do that because we want to get a lot of information into them, but just try to stay away from it as much as possible. When you're chanting the phonograms, and starting in the 1st grade, again, we're starting in 1st, going through 3rd, start with the single letter phonograms. Do this every year. Just start with the single letter phonograms. Obviously in the 1st grade, you're going to go for a little while on the single letter phonograms. Start introducing 5 more, you know, in a few weeks after you've realized, you know, that you know that they know those single letter phonograms very well. Go ahead and start introducing 5, 6, 7 even new phonograms, multi-letter phonograms per week. And the other thing is you could even just go along with what they say to introduce here. I found this to be sometimes a little slow, but yeah, it looks like about 5. And you can go ahead if you want to post them, you know, above your whiteboard, on your whiteboard, or you can have a little holder on the side where you can put those multi-letter phonograms that you're adding in, but just chant them a lot. try to add rhythm to your chanting, which I'll show you when we do the phonograms. And then, you know, as you go, just as you add them, recite all of them every day. And then after a little while, after they've gotten all the phonograms in there, all 70, you can do things like time how fast they can do them, or you know, just play games with them. So my kids love to play around the world, where they would go, this is a classroom setting of course, where they'd go to one person's chair, and whoever said it first, when I raised up the card, got to move on to the next chair. And you know, if they didn't get it, they had to sit down in that chair, wherever they went to. And whoever made it all the way around the classroom to where they were sitting the first time actually got to get the prize or wins. So, but remember that we're not wanting them to necessarily master them until about 5th grade. So don't stress out about it. I want to give you an approximate scope and sequence. In other words, if you don't do exactly this, it's okay. Try to stick somewhat close to it. There is a scope and sequence that is given in the Spell to Write and Read program, so you can use that. I find that one to be a little too repetitive and a little bit too rigorous for me. But, you know, you may want that, so depending on what you want. Kindergarten, you're really only going to want to do about 5 words per week, and, you know, maybe doing more. You only really want to start that like halfway through the year. You don't, you really shouldn't be starting before then. As we talked about before, you've got so much to do with pre-writing, pre-reading, and all that stuff that you shouldn't really be getting too much further than C. So A through C, 5 words per week. 1st grade, you want to do A, lists A through K, and again, that's doing 10 words, then 15 words, then 20 words. 2nd grade, you should be doing about J through N. And that's doing 20 words per week. And 3rd, about M through Q. Again, you're going to assess them, so you might start a little different place, but kind of try and stay somewhere within there. Don't go too far ahead, and don't stay way too far behind either. You don't want either one of those spectrums. So, all right, now I'm going to show you how to dictate some of these bigger words. I only did a couple of them. I did a simpler word. I did one with a rule because I wanted to show you the rule, and I also did one with a 2-syllable word. So my daughter is going to come and help me with that right now. Bianca. She's reading her book very intently. And we'll show you how to do that. So, first word, top. 1-syllable word. Top. Please spell top.
Top. 1-syllable word. First letter T, O, P. Markings, no markings.
No markings. That means there are no multi-phonograms, multi-letter phonograms, and there's no rules. Okay? And we always clap the syllables. So next word, Bianca, trade. 1-syllable word. T-R-A-D. Please spell trade.
Trade. 1-syllable word. First letter T, R-A-D-E. Markings, strong man E. Double underline the E, draw a rainbow from A to E. Rule 7.
Okay. And last word, summer. 2-syllable word. First syllable sum, s-m. Second syllable mer, m-er. Please spell summer.
Summer. 2-syllable word. First syllable sum, S-U-M. Second syllable mer, M-E-R. Markings in multi-syllable words. Both should be sounded, but not in normal speech. Rule 29.
Okay. Anything else?
Underline the of her, the most commonly used
Very good. All right, give her a little hand. Yay! Thank you, Bianca. Hopefully you can see these. I'm guessing so. Awesome. All right, so you'll see that we had a strongman E. I will do a separate part of my chanting videos will be the silent final E words, but this should be a part of the actual spelling rules that they have on the spelling rules card. They've actually got 5 different jobs of E. We've just kind of put it to a funky little beat so you can remember them. And we put this little dot here to represent a syllable to show that. And you'll notice that we clapped the 2 syllables, so summer, 2-syllable word. First syllable sum, S-U-M. Second syllable mer, M-E-R. And then she had the rule in multi-syllable words, both should be sounded, but not in normal speech. Rule 29. Again, that's something that we've kind of modified. Every rule we tried to modify a little bit to give it a little bit of rhythm so that it's easier to remember. So a silent final E has strong man E. We underline, now I can't think of it. Strong man E. Double underline the E, draw a rainbow from A to E, rule 7. That silent final E rule is rule 7. So you can see I did it in different colors. In the learning log, when you are dictating it, you can go ahead and have the child do it all in pencil. There's actually lines for them to write each word on, and you can either do it in pencil. I highly suggest having them get like a red pencil and doing the markings on it so that they can see the differences and write out the rules. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video at this time. I am going to have to turn it into a second video as I explain the back reference pages a little bit in the next video. So I'll see you in a minute. Bye.